to the Prep Rally Show. We're welcome with United States Congressional candidate Jason Plummer. Jason, how are you doing?
Hey, Brett, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. You're very busy campaigning a lot. How's the campaign going?
The campaign's going great. You know, we're working hard. We've been in about 8 or 9 different communities already today. I think the folks that have had a chance to get to know me know that I've got a lot of great volunteers, and we all work very hard, and we try to get in front of as many people as possible. So we're just continuing that all the way through Election Day.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, working very hard. Now, what's the polling look like? You know any new information to tell the listeners?
Yeah, I mean, the polling numbers, third-party numbers, and our own internal numbers have all been, fairly consistent. They show a tight race, but a race that, we think is about a 3 or 4 point race, with us being on the right side of those 3 or 4 points. So, we are cautiously optimistic, but we have a lot of work to do, and we're going to run hard through the finish line.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the values that sort of get taken away. Let's just go right through them. Guns, all right? What's your position on guns? And I know concealed carry is sort of a state issue, but just reiterate your position on that.
Well, it is, but, as I tell people all the time, the right to bear arms is a constitutional right, and I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. And so, these folks, like my one opponent, Bill Andrews, he always says, well, concealed carry is just a state rights issue. Well, no, it's not. It's in the Constitution, therefore it's a federal issue. There is legislation in Washington, D.C. to try to create the framework for a concealed carry right nationally, and that's something that I would definitely support. Like, the only way that good people of Southern Illinois are going to ever get the right to exercise their Second Amendment rights as well and as much as they should is if stuff happens at the federal level. And we can't send people to Washington, D.C. who talk out of both sides of their mouth when it comes to very important issues like the Second Amendment. So I look forward, I'm proud to have been endorsed by the Illinois State Rifle Association, by Gun Owners of America. When you look at the National Rifle Association, the ISRA, the NRA, Gun Owners of America, all those groups, I'm members of them, life members of them, and I'm proud to have their endorsements.
Yeah, I haven't really heard a consistent position on General Enyart on that. I don't really know his position. I don't know. He's really haven't talked about it. Let's go to a little bit. Go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. In some of our debates, that question's been asked of us is, hey, do you support federal legislation that would advance concealed carry rights? Where do you stand on the assault weapons ban? What do you think about the holding air holder in contempt of Congress? Things of that nature, which are all very relevant to the Second Amendment. And, we're proud to definitely be on the right side of those issues. And the ones that he's answered incorrectly, and a couple of the others, like Eric Holder and whatnot, he's just refused to answer the question. So there's no doubt in my mind that for those folks that care deeply about the Second Amendment and believe that that's a constitutional right that should be protected, that we're the campaign to support.
Yeah. Now let's go to abortion a little bit. Touchy subject. I really don't like to put this on the air, but I think it needs to be relevant and needs to be a question. What's your view on abortion?
Yeah, a lot of these different issues, they're very personal issues, and they're very, like you said, touchy issues. But, when it comes to the life question, I'm pro-life, proud to have been endorsed in this race by the National Federation for Right to Life, the Illinois Federation for Right to Life, the Traditional Values Coalition, and a lot of those different organizations that are pro-life and really inspect the candidates to make sure that they're consistent and honest about their position. And so, abortion can be touchy at times, but the people of Southern Illinois are culturally conservative folks, and I'm proud to be the candidate in this race that's going to represent their values in Washington.
Now, you mentioned culturally conservative, and let's just unpack that a little bit. So I believe, and this is my opinion, I believe Southern Illinois has just really struggled with people pushing them around, mainly Chicago and mainly this administration and the national level, with their values. That's not mainstream American values. That's San Francisco value. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's something I talk about in this campaign all the time. I mean, the people of Southern Illinois cannot allow to send people to Springfield or to Washington who are going to neglect their values. I run into so many people in Southern Illinois that say, well, I'm pro-life or I'm pro-gun or whatever it may be, folks that are running for office. And then they go to Springfield, they vote for Mike Madigan, or they go to Washington and they vote for Nancy Pelosi. Well, I'm sorry, but where I come from, if you hand the levers of government over to Mike Madigan, or you hand the levers of government over to Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama, you're not pro-life, you're not pro-gun, because you know that they will work against those agendas. So for far too long, people in Southern Illinois have been represented by folks that turn the decision-making authority street over to Chicago, to San Francisco, and places like that. We need to make sure that we send people to Springfield, and of course, in this case, to Washington, who represent the values of Southern Illinoisans. You know, I'm one of those people that I can lay my head down at night, I can look in a mirror in the morning and feel comfortable that I don't have to say one thing when I'm in Southern Illinois and say another thing when I'm in Washington or Springfield, because I speak one language. I don't speak out of both sides of my mouth. I'm proud to be pro-life. I'm proud to be pro-gun. I'm proud to advance the conservative values of Southern Illinois. And when I go to Washington, that's going to be what I stand up for. The people of Southern Illinois don't have to worry about, you know, my opponent, Bill Enyart, who won't take a position on the gun issues and is yet to say where he stands on the life issue. You know, he has said that he's going to vote for Nancy Pelosi to be Speaker of the House. Well, Jason Plummer is not going to vote for Nancy Pelosi to be Speaker of the House. I'm going to vote for pro-life, pro-gun, culturally conservative people to lead America.
Yeah, well, definitely. Now, let's shift a little bit to policy. Well, something that really bothers me about this national election between Romney and Obama is the fact that Obama and Biden are just attacking Romney and Ryan on the Medicare issue. And I tell people this. I said, you know, Obama has no plan whatsoever on Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. He has no plan. And they're going bankrupt, and their cost is growing out of control. I mean, does that frustrate you? And you know, you're a politician, but does that frustrate you when, first of all, General Enyart, you know, says, how can you know, he vouchers Medicare when this guy supports taking $720 billion from Medicare into Obamacare?
Well, it is frustrating. I mean, first off, let's be clear. He keeps talking about this voucher system. I have no idea what he's talking about. I mean, you know, it's amazing, you know, when you're in politics, how people can just make stuff up out of a whole cloth. And the fact of the matter is, we've laid out, if people look at the policy positions we've laid out a plan that protects and enhances Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid for folks that are currently on it, and it also provides options to younger generations. So, you know, if you're retired, if you're nearing retirement, or if you're even remotely close to retirement, nothing at all changes. For younger folks, if you want to continue on the program you're on, nothing at all changes. Not a big deal. But for younger folks that perhaps want to look at different options, what it does is it lays out choices just like United States congressmen can get. And I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with giving the voters the same choices and the same options that the members of Congress get. I'm fed up with senators and congressmen and governors and everybody else getting pay raises and getting nice pension benefits and getting nice health care benefits and getting all these things when they keep sticking the tab to taxpayers who have choices that are not as good. And you hit on a perfect, you know, point there, and that is we have laid out a plan that doesn't change Medicare for any of these folks, and my opponent supports a plan that guts $719 billion for Medicare.
Yeah,
and
well, I know this is a little later, but in Marion, okay, in the debate between Marion, that was an interesting debate. You know, he was talking about the Ryan plan, and, you know, you were on my show, and you don't support the Ryan plan, you support the Romney plan. It's totally different. The Ryan plan was 2011, the Romney plan was 2012, and there's that option to it on the Romney plan.
Well, and, you know, my opponent keeps wanting to try to pretend that I support different things because he has to attack, you know, constantly. I mean, look, the people of Southern Illinois want answers. Folks that are on fixed income, senior citizens, working families, single parents out there. I mean, all of these folks, they want certainty and they want answers because we're facing very serious problems. We've got a 10.5% unemployment rate. If you look at our natural resources, our geographic location, the quality of the people in Southern Illinois, there's no reason why we're struggling the way we are. It's because of bad policy. And, you know, my opponent, he attacks me and he says that I support this or I support that. You know, they've got these commercials about tax cuts for this group and companies that do this and Medicare. It's all ridiculous. People that have taken the time to educate themselves on this campaign, that read the newspaper, that go to the websites, that really, you know, listen to your radio show, that look into these things, they realize that some of these things are just blatant lies. They're not true. We lay out a plan that provides prosperity and opportunity. It allows the decision-making authority to rest with the people and not with the government. And when it comes to Medicare, you're exactly right. I mean, he can say these things constantly, but, you know, as I told Mr. Enyart at one of our debates, I said, you know, you can say things for as long as you want, but just because you say a lot doesn't make it true. You know, it's almost like every time, you know, Bill opens his mouth, I can see his nose grow a little bit longer because it's just not true, you know. So it is a little frustrating. It's not frustrating because I don't mind the attacks. Look, I'm a big boy. I've got thick skin. I can handle it. But it does bother me because there's people out there that are hurting. There's people out there that are really thirsting for solutions. They really want answers, and they want to be able to trust the people that they send to office. They want to trust that they're going to do the right thing. And as I tell people all the time, if Bill Inger's not going to be honest with people when he's asking for their vote, how's he going to treat them as their congressman? And the folks that have come out to our town halls and come out to our meet and greets in various communities throughout the district, I think they realize that we're pretty serious people and we're pretty positive people, and we're really trying to lay out a vision that brings some happiness and some opportunity back to Southern Illinois.
Okay, now 2 things real quick. The commercials and him, just attacking, saying your father and mom's and your business, haven't paid taxes, and the other thing that bothers me, and the other thing that bothers me, I've never seen him. Maybe I need to read more. I don't know, but I never see him in Southern Illinois, where I live.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what all their commercials say now. I mean, look, my parents were both high school teachers and coaches. My dad kind of got that American dream type story where when he grew up in Litchfield, Illinois in the 60s, he literally had an outhouse, no running water, no electricity, got to go to college, first person in his family on a sports scholarship. Met my mom, they got married, they became high school teachers and coaches. They did that for a while, and then my dad kind of got the entrepreneurial bug, wanted to go out and open the lumber yard, so he did that. And, he's worked hard. We got a lot of great employees, got a lot of great customers, have a lot of great vendors, and everyone just pitches in, works hard, and we've seen some success. And, we employ literally over 1,000 people in the region, people that make good wages, that have health care, that have 401k, that have profit sharing. And, that's what America is all about, is allowing the American people to do, what they do best. And, Bill Inger tries to run us down because, we're in business. And look, business is what creates jobs. Business is what creates opportunity. And I think the average American out there really respects that.
Yeah, well, I respect it. My dad, grew up poor, and he became a chiropractor. He's been a chiropractor for 26 years. And for a candidate, it's sort of the same thing with Obama attacking Romney on business. It's like, he's trying to help people out, and you're running him down. It makes no sense to me.
I think it's just a different vision. I mean, you mentioned my opponent never comes to Southern Illinois. I was joking with our campaign staff. I mean, someone can name a town, and I can hop in my pickup truck and drive to any town in this district. That Bill Inghard, if I said Williamson County, you'd have to get out MapQuest and try to figure out how to find Marion. It's absolutely absurd. And you've got to get out there, and you've got to educate yourself. And we have a diverse district. It's diverse economically, it's diverse demographically, it's diverse geographically. And you've got to get out there. You've got to know a district if you're going to represent a district. You've got to understand what's happening in all 12 counties. And, for far too long, Southern Illinois has been dominated by St. Clair County, Illinois.
Yeah.
These trial lawyers in Belleville, these trial lawyers in St. Clair County, they pick the congressman, they churn out the vote, and this machine in Belleville and in St. Clair County just dominates Southern Illinois. And finally, there's a choice. Southern Illinois has a choice, and I'm proud to have received the endorsement of the Southern Illinoisan. I'm proud to have received a lot of notoriety for being in Southern Illinois as much as I am, for respecting the issues that are important to Southern Illinois, the coal and the transportation networks and the gas and the ag industries and everything, SIU carved, everything that makes Southern Illinois great. I'm proud to represent it. And a lot of what makes Southern Illinois great are those folks that have gone out there on their own, worked hard. And when you have a businessman and a Navy guy in the race against a trial lawyer from St. Clair County, you can imagine it's going to get ugly. But if they want to attack us for business, that means that's the best attack they have, and I'm proud of what we've been able to do.
Yeah. Well, Jason, I appreciate coming on. You have the last word.
Hey, Brett, I appreciate the chance to be on the show. I've been on it a couple times now. I appreciate everything you do down there. Look, this election is a hugely important election. It's important at the presidential level, but it's just important at the congressional level, because this is a chance for Southern Illinois to send someone to Washington who's going to truly represent the economic needs of the entire district, not just St. Clair County, Illinois, but represents the economic needs of the entire district, but also represents the cultural values of Southern Illinois. I've worked hard for the last year. I've been in front of lots of people. I'm sure folks on your show who are listening have probably been to parades or town hall meet and greets or different events that we've done, and they realize that this is a great opportunity to elect a new brand of leadership, send someone to Washington that's got new ideas that can really turn around Southern Illinois. We're an area tremendously blessed with resources. We're tremendously blessed with good people, but we have a double-digit unemployment rate. And I believe in Southern Illinois because I believe in the people of Southern Illinois. And if we let the coal miners mine coal, if we let the farmers farm, if we let the teachers teach, if we let the small business folks create jobs and provide products, and we get government out of the way, good things are going to happen in Southern Illinois. We're going to drive down that unemployment rate, and we're going to see opportunity and prosperity come back to a place that has been missing it for far too long. So appreciate everything you do, Brett. Appreciate everything the folks in Southern Illinois do, and look forward to working hard the next 5 days and winning this thing on November 6th.